great forum. This is exactly where we wanted to start. So thank you.
Ready?
We're ready. Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
right ahead.
Yeah.
You go right ahead.
I'll follow you.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey there. How are you doing?
Kelly, I'll be standing with you.
Good to see you. Thank you very much. Beto O'Rourke.
Nice to meet you.
Hey.
My husband.
That's on me. I just want to make sure I'm respectful.
My husband, my granddaughter.
Nice to meet you. Hi, Beto. Very nice to meet you. Hi, Beto. Hi. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm president of Keene State Democrats. Thank you so much
right
for being
on.
here tonight.
Tell me your first name.
Davis.
Davis. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
an honor to meet you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great to be here. Hey, Jessica. Thanks for having us out. Yeah. Honored to be here. Yeah. Just go. Yeah, but go for it real quick. We want to make sure we're not. You guys, we gotta hit the stage.
All right,
Okay, here we go.
keep going.
I'm so sorry.
Let's keep going.
Sorry.
There we go.
Hey. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Molly's going fishing. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody.
I'm Molly Crowley, and I am a proud graduate of Keene State College. And it is just great to be with all of you here tonight. It's so exciting. As you know, Beto O'Rourke has made his announcement that he will be joining others in running for President of the United States, and he's here with us tonight. It's so exciting. This is his first trip to New Hampshire. And guess what? Guess what? He has chosen this campus at Keene State College as his first stop. So, meeting presidential candidates is not new to us here.
That's right.
We're used to that, but we don't take it lightly, do we?
No.
We are excited and energized to have you here. We know that it's about our families. It's about our children. It's about the people that we care the most about here in this country and all over the world. And we need a new president who will take this country in a new direction. A direction that the U.S. President of the United States, Beto O'Rourke.
All right. You want me to take this one? Or do you have another one?
That one's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
can I
give
take
it
this
to-
one?
Yep.
All right, she see it. Who is all three of them going to the same world-class public schools that I went to when I was a kid in El Paso. An extraordinary dual dual language program, where in one day they're learning math in Spanish, the next day they're learning it in English. They're making the most of the fact that we live in the largest binational community in the Western Hemisphere. 3 million from 2 countries speaking 2 languages. Border is one of, if not the safest city in the United States of America. Safe, secure, strong, successful, not in spite of the fact that we are a city of immigrants, but I would argue because of the fact that we are a city of immigrants. If you think about it, those El Pasos, tens of thousands, a quarter of those with whom we live, were born somewhere else, chose us, left their home, their comfort, their language, their families, their nation, because they were called to us. They wanted to get ahead, they wanted their kids to get ahead, but they also wanted to contribute to our shared success. And their very presence makes us that much stronger, that much safer, and that much more likely to be successful. We lose sight of that and the fact that we are comprised of asylum seekers and refugees and immigrants the world over for as long as we have been a country. We lose sight of that at our own peril. And when we do, this is what happens. We greet our fellow human beings who are leading the deadliest places in the Western Hemisphere, some of the deadliest places on planet Earth, whose own governments can no longer protect them, and most importantly, the lives of their kids. There's no other explanation for what would compel you to scoop up your baby girl, your little boy, and walk 2,000 miles. If you are lucky, you are atop, not inside of a train known as the Beast or La Bestia, to come here to this country, our front door at the Texas-Mexico border, penniless, not knowing the language, not having a friend in sight, just wanting to get that little kid of yours the help that they need. Seeking the salvation, the refuge that this country has promised to the tempest-tossed and those who have no home for as long as we have been a country. And at that most desperate and vulnerable moment, this is what we have done to too many. We have literally, by force, taken that child from the arms of her parent, deported that mother back to the very country from which she fled in the first place, placed that child in a cage, separated them with no hope in too many cases of ever being reunited again. Unless we think this is just owing to one man in one position, for as long as we are a democracy, and the people are the government, and the government is the people, until every single one of those children is reunited with every single one of their families, it is on all of us. It becomes our responsibility to make this happen. I want us not only to honor our own asylum laws, which this president is failing to do, I want us to rewrite our existing immigration laws in our own image, in the image of our communities, yours and mine alike, reflecting our values, the reality on the ground, and our own self-interest. We can begin by freeing every single one of the more than 1 million dreamers from any fear of deportation. Make them U.S. citizens today so they can contribute to their maximum potential over the course of their lifetime. Do not do this at the price of their parents, the original dreamer, those who made the god-awful decision to come here in the first place because perhaps they had no other choice. They did what you and I would do in the same set of circumstances, what any human being would do in the same set of circumstances. Let's make sure that the more than 11 million undocumented people in this country, very often working the toughest, the most back-breaking jobs that no one born in this country can be found to work, are able to come out of the shadows, to get right with the law, by that very act making us safer and more secure, knowing exactly who is in our communities, and also ensuring that those who already contributed so much can continue those contributions, ultimately as U.S. citizens in the greatest democracy this world has ever known. I'm excited for all of us to work together for all of us on an economy that works for everyone, not so well for the very few and not well enough for the far too many. I'm meeting school teachers, educators, school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, custodians, those who are responsible for the education of our children and the welfare of this great country going forward, who are working 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet, when before them they have the most important job, unlocking a lifelong love of learning within every single child before them. I want them focused on that. I want them paid a living wage. I want every working American to know that we've got their back, that they can earn a wage that allows them to live with dignity, to focus on their kids in their homes, and to provide for the generation to come. To accumulate wealth, especially in those families and in those communities, and especially communities of color that have been actively prevented from accumulating wealth from the very beginning of this country. Because, yes, we are a country of asylum seekers and refugees and immigrants, but we are also a country that brought people here in bondage and through their slave labor literally built the foundation and the wealth that we are so proud of today, and we're able to share in almost none of it. There is 10 times the wealth in white America today there is in black America today. The ability to make a down payment on a home, to start a business, to afford to come to Keene State is out of reach far too many of our fellow Americans. This economy has got to work for absolutely everyone. We've never had this deep a division between the haves and the have-nots. We never had this kind of income and wealth inequality unless you go all the way back to the last Gilded Age. And the progressive response that concentration of wealth, power, and privilege provoked included people like Theodore Roosevelt, who said you will never have something approaching popular democracy. You don't have something approaching economic democracy. Every single one of us, and especially our kids, have to see a future in this country. And that future is fading for far too many, or never really was an option for too many more. We're going to meet those challenges. We're going to meet the challenges of a healthcare system in, get this, the wealthiest, the most powerful country the world has ever known, the most technologically and medically advanced. And in the year 2019, there are people in this country dying of diabetes. There are people in this country dying of the flu. There are people in this country dying of curable cancers because they cannot see a doctor. They may be insured but cannot afford the copay on their life-saving medications. They cannot take their child to a therapist that she's well enough to learn in the next day of school. In my home state of Texas, the largest mental health care provider in the state is the county jail system. My fellow Texans with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, depression, literally getting arrested on purpose because the jail cell is the one place that they are guaranteed a roof over their head, the ability to be fed and clothed, prescribed the psychotropic medications that will at least temporarily make life bearable. Maybe they see a therapist or a social worker and then they're back out on the streets. Not only is that unconscionable and immoral, it's an incredibly expensive way to fail one another. We're losing out not just on that person's earning potential over their lifetime, the things that they'll create, that poem that they're going to write, that punk rock band that they're going to start, that family that they're going to raise, that job they're going to work, those taxes they're going to pay. But as they get closer to a premature death, they have no insurance, no way to pay for their hospital care at the emergency room, you and I will pick up that bill together and higher premiums and higher taxes. That's why we must come together as a country, not as a party, transcend the differences and the divides of geography and party and any other difference that doesn't matter at this defining moment of truth, and guarantee every single American high-quality health care without exception. That means mental health care, and that means every single woman makes her own decisions about her own life.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
We're in the wake of an administration that doesn't believe in the facts, doesn't deal in the truth, rejects the science that is available to us is beyond the shadow of a doubt. For those of you who are marching for science 300 years after the Enlightenment, we salute you. We shouldn't have to do it in this country, but we're grateful that you did. It was a reminder that those scientists have concluded that not only is climate change real, not only is it caused by our own excesses and inaction, but that it is harming us, taking the lives of our fellow Americans and our fellow human beings all over the world right now as we stand together here in New Hampshire, in Texas, in Houston. 58 inches of rain fell from the sky in 2017. It's the landfall record in North America for as long as we've been keeping records in North America. And it was the third 500-year flood in just the last 5 years in southeast Texas. People who had not rebuilt their homes from the last flood were flooded yet again. Lives lost in the process. The scientists say that climate change will produce more of those floods. They'll be more devastating and profound, and they will be yet more frequent than they have already been. It's the same message that they have for the farmers in West Texas and in the Panhandle. Those droughts from which they've just emerged, those droughts will become more severe. They will undermine our ability to grow our own food, our own fiber, our ability to feed and clothe ourselves, to feed and clothe so much of the rest of the world. The civil war in Syria, the wildfires in California, we literally are making it happen. And unless we act in the 12 years, which the scientists also agree, within which we still have time, there will be a hell visited upon our kids and grandkids and the generations that follow that we can only imagine. If you were worried about 400,000 apprehensions at our southern border with Mexico last year, wait until some of the countries in the Western Hemisphere are no longer inhabitable by human beings. The refugee crisis then, here, and all over the world is beyond our imagination right now. But we still have time to act. And by the time Ulysses is my age in 2050, I want him to look back on us, all of us right here at this moment, this country at this defining, pivotal moment of truth, and be proud of what we chose to do together. And that we didn't do it by half measure, and we didn't do it by half of us. It was rural and urban, Republican and Democrat coming together to face the singular existential challenge of climate change before it was too late. Freeing ourselves from the dependence on fossil fuels, investing in those communities that have disproportionately borne the brunt of climate change thus far, making sure that we don't disengage it from our larger economy, and that the gains are shared with everyone and not just concentrated in the hands of a few. If we put our minds to it, this country, put to the test, can meet that challenge and can reassert its global leadership to ensure that the nations of the world are convened around this shared, otherwise intractable problem. I know we can do it. This country, when the call has come in the past, has always answered it. This is our moment of truth right now. You with me on this one? In Pennsylvania earlier today. Just for the one gentleman from Pennsylvania. And all day as we drove, the 8-hour drive from Penn State to here, we were calling in to New Hampshire. Calling in to my good friend, Andy Custer, with whom I sat on the House Veterans Affairs Committee for 6 years. Calling your amazing senators, calling your state reps, calling folks from all over the state to find out what's going on here. so proud of your response to the crisis that you have seen endured more than any other state in the nation of opioid abuse and overuse and death. The fact that in the face of losing 70,000 of our fellow Americans to drug overdose deaths, you as a state and as a people have decided this will not be a problem of criminal justice. This will be an opportunity for public health. We're going to care for and show compassion to those who are struggling. And we're going to acknowledge an incredibly warped system of justice in this country. When folks like those at Purdue Pharma can sell these addictive opioids to prescribers, when 9 out of 10, or maybe the number is 4 out of 5, but the vast majority of those who are addicted to opioids today began with a legal prescription. And those executives understood the addictive properties of what they sold, but did not share that with the public. And not a single one of them has done a single day in jail. And yet, we have the largest prison population on the face of the planet, disproportionately comprised of people of color. Far too many there for possession of a substance that is legal in most states of this country, marijuana. And though Americans of all races and ethnicities use marijuana at the same rate, only some are more likely than others to be arrested, to serve time, to upon release be forced to check a box so that they're unlikely to get that job because of that past conviction, unable, ineligible for student loans and scholarships to attend this university and better themselves. We need real criminal justice reform. We need to end the prohibition on marijuana. And make sure that we have a full prosecution and accountability for those who are responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans in this country. All of this is only possible if all of us come together. The greatest mechanism humankind has ever devised for tackling challenges of this scope and scale is democracy. And our democracy right now is so badly broken, our institutions captured and corrupted by big, dark, unaccountable money, by that concentration of power that I just described, by a system of suppression that keeps some out and allows others in. In Texas, we ranked 50th in the nation in voter turnout. Not because we love our democracy any less than you do here in New Hampshire, but our state legislature was so successful of drawing some people out of a congressional district based on their race or their country of national origin that we really did produce a system where some people's votes counted for more than others and some just dropped out. No longer a reason to vote or to share their voice. Literally drawn out of their democracy. We have to make sure that not only do we get big, unaccountable money out of politics, and that's why I don't take a dime of PAC money in this campaign. We have to have a new voting rights act to end the practice of racial gerrymandering and gerrymandering at all. Every chance to compete. If we fix our democracy, single one of these challenges that I just laid out, there's been no better moment, no greater moment for us to define ourselves by our ambitions, to ensure that our promise to each other and to the generations that follow, our kids and grandkids, is kept. This is on us, every single one of us. And that is why I'm so grateful to be here with you, to tell you that I want to serve you as the next president of the United States of America. Thank you for having me out. I'm going to do my best to take as many questions or comments or suggestions or ideas or guidance or advice as we can and get as many people into the conversation. Cynthia, we have another mic. If you'll look for Cynthia, she's wearing a black cap and a green shirt. She'll try to bring you the microphone so that everybody can hear your question.